Good morning, everyone. It's Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone is having a fabulous Monday morning so far. Happy Monday, guys. Happy days. Hope you're all doing well. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, of course. What are y'all all up to? What are you going on? What's going on? It is, of course, England are playing tonight. I will be doing a watch along. It is England against Latvia, which should be an entertaining game. Of course, the last England game wasn't very entertaining, wasn't it? It was, to be honest with you, it was quite boring, if I'm being totally real with you guys. Absolutely. But thank you guys for joining me. And you know what? There is news about Man United, and there is, of course, news. Always going to be news, isn't there? I mean, it's nothing to do with Arda Güler today. Arda Güler, of course. Turkey won 3-0 yesterday, and Arda Güler was having a little bust up with Szoboszlai. You know, the Liverpool player, Szoboszlai? The Liverpool player said 1,088 minutes, basically taking a shot at Arda Güler's appearances for Real Madrid, which is 1,088 minutes. You know what I mean? You'll have a little bit of rivalry, don't we? We'll have a little bit of rivalry, but you know what? Arda Güler's a top player at the end of the day, and I would love Arda Güler at Man United. But obviously, as I spoke yesterday about the transfer fee, what 80-odd million has been slapped on his head in regards to transfer. So, you know, it does look like Man United won't be in the line for a player like, obviously, Arda Güler. But one player that has been on everyone's lips for the last few months, it seems like years, isn't it, really? And it has been, if we've been honest with ourselves. We were interested in Osimhen a couple of years ago as well. Victor Osimhen. Now, Victor Osimhen, release clause is 62 million euros. Now, look, I look at this and I say to myself, look, this could be a good deal for Man United, a great deal for Man United, but can we just pluck out 62 million out of the air and sign Victor Osimhen for 62 million? That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? That'd be fantastic. That'd be great. The problem is that when you have a release clause, generally you have to pay the money up front. You can't pay in installments like we do with, for example, Xerxes. We pay an extra bit of money in interest, but we'll pay you in installments, for example. But the likes of Victor Osimhen, if you're gonna pay the release clause, you're gonna have to pay the full amount of whack, ain't you? At the end of the day, so that is a difficult thing coming in regards to Man United and Victor Osimhen. But what could soften the blow? What could soften the financial burden? It could be Rasmus Højlund. A swap deal for Rasmus Højlund. Napoli are said to be huge fans of Rasmus Højlund and wouldn't mind Rasmus Højlund at Napoli. Now, look, we know that Rasmus is a decent player. We know that he's not reached his potential yet, but he has shown glimpses of being a great player. But if I was to use this deal and look at this deal, it beggars, I'm a bit conflicted because I look at Rasmus. He's a young player, you know what I mean? He can get better, you know. But then I look at Osimhen, and you know what? I think Osimhen, experienced goal scorer, 26 years old, you know what I mean, can get us goals, you know what I mean? And it is a very, very hard one to say because I do like Rasmus, but would you do a swap deal with Victor Osimhen? Of course, it's not going to just be a straight swap deal. Napoli are going to want extra money as well. They're going to want money for Victor Osimhen for the swap deal with Rasmus Højlund. Of course, it is difficult given the FFP, given the PSR. Rasmus valuation is 42 million. So Man United have to make up a deal that is going to be worth 42 million, so to speak. It's going to have to be worth that at the end of the day. But I would like Victor Osimhen. I'm a big fan of Victor Osimhen. Can we pay the 62 million? Can't we get rid of Anthony and Rashford and get Victor Osimhen? I mean, we're going to make about 80 million for Victor Osimhen anyway, isn't it? And then we can see what happens with Rasmus Højlund. Leave Rasmus Højlund on the bench. Let Rasmus Højlund drift into the team a little bit. And maybe that could be good for Man United at the end of the day. Maybe that can be good at the end of the day, guys. But, you know, what I would say is that it remains to be seen. I do think Man United need an experienced striker. I've said that for a long, long time. I said that in the summer. I was talking a lot about even Tony in the summer, about how he should be playing for Manchester United. We should sign him. Of course, there were rumours about his wages being 400k a week or some ridiculous number like that. But we did need an experienced striker way back in the summer. And we didn't get that experienced striker, unfortunately. But you know, we can still get it. And in Victor Osimhen, I think he'd be a fantastic striker for Man United. But you know what? There are going to be other teams out there who will want Victor Osimhen. There are going to be other teams out there who will be able to easily pay the 62 million release clause. You know, Victor Osimhen is a Manchester United fan, but how far can you use that trick, that old trick? You know, at the end of the day, Man United, you could be a Man United fan. And for me and you, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we support Man United. We'll love to play for Manchester United. But you know what? You know, Champions League is very important. These things are very important, of course. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, he might end up choosing another club because we're not in the Champions League. Look, the Europa League is going to be very difficult. And I don't think it's going to be the Lyon game. I actually think Man United will get through against Lyon. I think so. I also believe that Athletic Bilbao will go through against against Lazio. And I believe that with Athletic Bilbao, given their defensive record, they've got the fourth best defense in La Liga. They got the same amount of goals as Atletico Madrid. You know, they're actually quite good. And I mean, they've got the two Williams on both sides. You know, they're actually quite good. But do I fear Athletic Bilbao? No, I don't fear Athletic Bilbao. You know, I'm a United fan. I've seen great teams come and go at the end of the day. I don't really fear them. You know, I feel like they should fear us as well because, look, people can say that, oh, we're going to lose to Athletic Bilbao. Even if we get through to Lyon, we're going to lose against Athletic Bilbao. But I look at Man United and I think, look, we went toe-to-toe with the likes of Arsenal, you know, with 10 men. We beat Man City away at the Etihad. We went toe-to-toe with Liverpool at Anfield. So maybe that is the kind of game that Man United might flourish in, might thrive in, rather than playing a lesser team, so to speak, if you get what I mean. Of course, Athletic Bilbao have to beat Lazio. Lazio are a very proud club, of course. So they're going to have to beat Lazio. Man United are going to have to beat Lyon. But in all honesty, I think it's going to be a Man United against Athletic Bilbao semi-final. And that is a big game, a massive game, you know. If we get through against Athletic Bilbao, I think Man United will win the tournament. I do. I just think that we'll have the momentum. Thank goodness we're not going to be playing Athletic Bilbao at the final because the final is going to be in Bilbao. So let's move on. In regards to that, in regards to Rasmus Højlund and Osimhen, you know what? Swap deals are notoriously hard to do. Over the years, swap deals have been difficult. They haven't been easy to implement because obviously the agents have to be involved. The money has to be right for both teams, of course. So it is very, very difficult to get swap deals going on. But you know what? It is a possibility. But I would say keep Rasmus Højlund, get rid of Rashford, Anthony, and maybe get an Osimhen in there. Maybe we can do something like that at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely. Let's read some of your comments. Shah, in regards to Shancho. Yes, I'm going to get into that very, very quickly. My friend, big up Shah, big up yourself. Jarvis, what's going on? I don't think we need experienced, expensive striker like Osimhen. We just need talented striker, and Højlund isn't that. I don't know. I mean, I think Jarvis, that Højlund is potential. I think we need a striker that is a little bit more. How would I say it? Look, I look at you know, strikers from back in the day. For example, I look at strikers from the old days. Like, I hate to go into the old days, guys. And I read a tweet about this today. You know, and you could look at talented strikers. Who's a talented striker, a young striker in Europe right now, who you would say is a guy who's going to score 20, 30 goals a season? Do you know what I mean? He's a new kid on the block. I think in regards to striker-wise, I think a 24, 25-year-old player would be good. Someone with a bit more, you know, a bit more strength, you know, and something like that. I like Osimhen. He is expensive. But if there was the opportunity to sign him for 62 million, given that we sell Anthony and we sell Rashford, do you think that would be a good deal for Manchester United? Do you think that would be a good deal? We might make around 80 million for Anthony and Rashford. Hopefully, of course. Hopefully, we'll make that much money from them. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't really see many great strikers out there. I could say, Jarvis, that we could look at Jonathan David. We could look at Jonathan David and say Jonathan David is going to be a free transfer. Maybe Jonathan Davies is the guy. You know what I mean? Maybe we can get him on a free transfer. A lot of talk about Jonathan Davies over these many years, of course. But, you know, is he good enough to take Man United to that next level? I mean, if it was me, I think Man United need a number of positions on that pitch. You know, they need a number of areas in the pitch that need to be organised, of course. They do, Alan. They do affect FFP, but the 42 valuation has to be met in regards. I'm not sure how they work it out. It is a very difficult one, but the 42 million, which is Rasmus, is around 42 million. We have to get him sold him for at the end of the day. It has to be a valuation of that. Personally, I think that is that. I think what will happen is that, you know what, the valuation will be met with the swap deal, something like that. If you know what I mean, it is very, very complicated. Le complicaciones, of course. Almac, Avarian Turkey was on fire. You can see the quality cheaper than Xavi Simons and Arda Güler, and also no Osimhen. Jonathan David is for free. Is the guy. I spoke about Turkey a long time ago before anyone was talking about Turkey in the summer, Almac, and now people are starting to talk about Turkey, of course. You know, and you know, I wouldn't take too much in regards to under 21 football. I wouldn't, right? Let's see what he does against Man United. He plays for Lyon. Let's see what he does against Man United when it happens. Jonathan David, he's good. He's played in France, though, only. You know, you look at Osimhen, he's doing it in a much more difficult league, won Serie A with Napoli, you know, and was doing it in Galatasaray as well, doing it in Europe as well. So I would say that it is a difficult one to push home. Osimhen is a better player than David, for me. And I've watched both of them properly. You know, I've been actually watching French games and watching international games. You know, they're better. Arda Güler and Turkey, it is up and down. You don't know. We don't know who's better because I cannot judge Turkey on a few under 21 games. I can judge Güler from an international team. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I could see him playing well, of course. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I would want either one of these players. Absolutely, be fantastic. But it's hard to judge who's better, Turkey or Güler. It is hard to judge. Güler, obviously, Turkey will be, he's on fire for under 21. So was Chris Sutton back in the day. And, you know, people like that. But you know what? At the end of the day, we have to look at what they do at the seniors. Do you know what I mean? And we look at what they do for the French national team. You know, Güler's doing it for the Turkish national team. They won 3-0 yesterday against Hungary. But it depends on the price. Turkey's not going to be cheap. Of course he's not. 60 upwards, is it? You know what I mean? Something like that. So that is going to be expensive as well at the end of the day. Sure. We should bring at least one former Amram player in. I mean, don't be surprised if we do. Gutierrez mainly. It will be a fantastic signing for Man United if they bring in Gutierrez. Of course, Gutierrez, it all depends, Shah, on Champions League football. It really does, because a player like Gutierrez is going to be wanted by many other clubs, of course. He's going to be wanted by many Premier League clubs, and those Premier League clubs are going to be in the Champions League. Look, for example, Arsenal want Gutierrez, don't they? And, you know, with Quenda, that, you know, sentimentality goes out the window when it comes to football, you know, because at the end of the day, it depends how much you know, what you're in, where you are as a football club at the moment. And are Man United an attractive proposition for any other suitor? You know, are they an attractive proposition? If they're not in the Champions League, you know, it's going to be difficult for Manchester United. And we're mentioning all these names, and we might not be able to get any of those because we're not in the Champions League. But some of those players might not want to come to Man United because we're not in the Champions League at the end of the day. And that is what it is, guys. Now, I bring in another one. Of course, I spoke about this player quite a long time ago, guys. And the thing is that lots of talk about obviously Onana. Lots of talk yesterday about Onana, guys. And basically, Ruben Amorim doesn't see Onana as the long-term solution for his plans. Onana is not the goalkeeper that Ruben Amorim wants. He's looking for a more astute goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that breeds confidence, a goalkeeper that doesn't create anxiety. I mean, it is said that Onana is well liked at Man United. His personality, the way he is, he's liked. He's a nice character. I agree. He's a good character. But as a goalkeeper, do you think he's the goalkeeper to take Manchester United to that next level? That is the biggest question, of course, guys. And one of the goalkeepers that I mentioned many, many weeks ago is Seny Lamens. And Seny Lamens is a Belgian player, of course, guys, playing currently for Antwerp in Belgium. Very good goalkeeper. Tall, commanding, and you know what, a player that, you know what, Man United might have signed in the past. Because Man United, let's look at our history, right? When we look at the great Man United goalkeepers, the great Man United goalkeepers have always been tall, demanding, commanding, a Donnarumma type sort of goalkeeper. Seny Lamens is one of those goalkeepers that Man United are interested in. And now the key about Seny Lamens is that he is only worth 4.5 million euros, guys. So, you know, it is quite cheap. Now, Man United, given the Man United tax and stuff like that, it could be about 10 million euros, of course, guys, you know, in regards to that. And 10 million is nothing for a goalkeeper. Maybe something for Man United. But if we can shift Onana, if we can shift Onana, we'll have to get around 27 million for Onana, not to affect FFP and PSR. So that is obviously a big question that needs to be put forward. But Seny Lamens, who plays in Belgium for Royal Antwerp, he is 22 years old. Contract expires 2027. He's only worth about 4.5 billion euros on market value. So that is a very, very attractive proposition. And obviously, I mentioned this in the summer and about Seny Lamens, and you know, he is an incredible goalkeeper who has a bright future, of course, guys. So that is something to look out for during the summer. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I like Osimhen, wanted him 2 years ago, but Gutierrez knows Amram and knows how to play his style, and Quenda off the books. It's true, Shah. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, if we're not in the Champions League, we're in a big competition with Arsenal in regards to the signature of Gutierrez. Now, Gutierrez, I don't know if he's a Manchester United fan. Victor Osimhen is a Manchester United fan. And I like that. I do. Of course, there's obviously Etitike, who is also a Man United fan, who's a striker. Etitike has been talking about being a Man United fan in an interview yesterday. And I like that as well. I do like the fact that some of these players are Man United fans, because when you're a Man United fan, it means more, in my opinion. I don't know if Gutierrez is a Man United fan. I'm not too sure about that. But what the biggest key for us, the key for us is Man United to qualify for the Champions League. Then we can start looking at strikers who will fit the mold, you know, because if Man United don't get into Europe, let's say Man United don't get in the Champions League, Man United don't win the Europa League, is Gutierrez going to go to Arsenal or is he going to go to Man United? You know, and if he comes to Man United, is he going to go to Man United for the right reasons? You know, we all know that the sentimentality in regards to Ruben Amorim, it doesn't mean nothing. Look at Quenda. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean nothing. Players look after themselves. That's what they do at the end of the day. And Man United are not attractive. If we're going on about five-year plans, Man United are not attractive. You know, if you're 26, 27, you're thinking 5 years. You're thinking 5 years, I'm going to be 31, something like that. You know, so you're not looking at a 5-year plan, are you? You're looking at right now. I want a team that's in the Champions League. I want a team that is competing. That's what I want at the end of the day. Amak. Leon reported to be willing to let for 20 million. They have an informal agreement with the player that they would let him leave. If it's in a formal agreement, mate, I wouldn't put too much weight on that, to be honest with you. I'm hearing something different completely. I'm hearing that, you know what, they're going to sign up a new contract for the guy, and he will be going for a lot more, to be honest with you. I'll give you the exact amount. He will be going for a lot more. They're going to obviously. Leon need to look after themselves. They're not going to let Turkey go for 20 million, mate. I guarantee you, I would shave off my hair and my eyebrows if he went for 20 million, guys. Absolutely. He's not going to go for 20 million. There is no deal in regards to that at the end of the day, especially now when this season he's jumped leaps and bounds and his market value is 30 million euros, but his contract expires on the 2026. There is rumors about him signing a new contract with Leon and a deal for that. But if you think about Leon and you think about a gentleman's agreement, something like that, don't hold no weight in that. If it's a contractual agreement, that's a different thing. If a gentleman's agreement, it's a completely different thing. Turkey will go for a lot more than that, mate. Absolutely a lot more than that. Trust me on that one. He's not going to go for 20 million. Absolutely not. Definitely not. Especially this season, the season he's had. Maybe in the past, people might have thought of him as a decent player, an up-and-coming player, as I was mentioning in the summer. But now, I mean, Leon need to look after themselves. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're not going to get selling for 20 million at the end. One of the best young players in Europe at the moment in regards to under 21s and stuff like that. Thank you so much, Shah. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. And please don't forget to subscribe if you are new, guys. Now, look, you know what? There was a 99-question dossier, should I say, which was put forward to Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, of course, recently. And I want to bring this into the show. So when we look at this 99-question dossier, of course, which was put forward to Ineos, back in 2004, when Alex Ferguson was trying to shake down the Como mafia, Absolutely. Let me just get this up. Let me read this out for you really quickly. Was trying to shake down the cool morale to take ownership of the Rock of Gibraltar. The Irish quickly issued a series of 99 questions to United board, focused on his transfer dealings and the resulting in the beneficiaries. It caused Ferguson to back down and desperately sue for peace rather than stud the rights. In 2025, the Ineos Mafia, the power brokers at Old Trafford, along with a whole new style-worthy snout wow, that's written. I looked in depth at the Old Trafford regeneration task force in the rat's nest before dissembling the lies Jim Ratcliffe has spewed in the last few weeks. Interviews in regards to interviews, the Lion Rat. Now I issued the 99 questions. Funny enough, it's called the 99 questions, isn't it? Which those journalists and Gary Neville should have been asking questions, which is surely in all United fans' interest for United to answer, lest unchallenged, he pied pipers. Manchester United into the future that could conceivably generate billions in profit for himself and the Glazers. Yet United without a stadium of their own. Okay, so some of the questions, basically in regards to what Jim Ratcliffe was asked, how much is Seb Coe being paid for chairing the Old Trafford Regeneration Task Force? It's certainly enough to have got him very infused about it, unlike when he was rubbishing Manchester United's regeneration and dumping on the city's Olympic bid back in 1990s. Now, those who know about the Olympic bid for England in 2012, Seb Coe was not a big fan of Manchester. So what's going on right now? Why is he such a why has he gone from rubbishing these rumours to being for it? And how much money is involved? Number two, has Gary Neville been paid for this involvement? I mean, a great question there. Has he been paid? How much of the fans' money, as referred to it, was Neville paid for promoting United in India last autumn? Exactly. Why was Neville recruited for ambassadorial work when Alex Ferguson is being paid up to 2.1 million per annum for such a role in May? There you go. Why did you claim that the club would have gone bust by Christmas? When, of course, what exactly? And why did, if they knew that, why wasn't it declared to the shareholders? Why did they buy the club? Why did they buy the club if they knew that they were going to go bust at Christmas? Why did they buy the club? And why did they spend 150 million in the summer if they knew they were going to go bust at the end of the day? It makes you think, doesn't it? Why was the fact that not revealed to the SEC exactly filing in September? That is exactly what you do. If a club is about to go bust, why was it not revealed to the club's SEC filing in September? Of course, guys. Why was this fact not contradicted by the club going concern statement logged on the 20th of February that management has concluded that the group is able to meet its obligation when they fall due for the period of the last 12 months after this date? Spot on. Given this, why did you claim hundreds more redundancies to low pay staff who were drastically required? Exactly. Why did you spend 1 billion investing in Manchester United whilst not having a true grasp of the forest of numbers? Your words, by the way, that supposedly masked the terrible state of the club's finances. Did your accountants and lawyers not flag up this apparent state of the club's finances? If not, have you since sacked them? Exactly. There you go. Guys, look, there is 99 questions there, and I urge you to read it. If they did flag it, why will you be taking legal action against the Glazers and Rain for apparently not providing full disclosure on the state of United's finances? There you go. If this was the case, exactly. You claim that finances weren't crystal clear despite having up to inject 300 million as a condition of your buyout. Of your buy-in, shall I say. Are you seriously suggesting you committed that amount of money into what was possibly a black hole? Guys, this is, when you read these questions, I mean, I know that we're not going to get an answer from Jim Ratcliffe. Absolutely. I don't think we're going to get an answer for Jim Ratcliffe, but it is very, very important that we read through this. And guys, I urge you, 99 questions to Jim Ratcliffe. At the end of the day, read these questions, 99 questions to Jim Ratcliffe. I'm not going to read you them all. It'd take forever to read these questions out, of course, but there is some killer questions in there. If they knew, the key question for me is that if they knew we were going to go bankrupt in December, right? If they knew we were going to go bankrupt in December, why didn't he just let someone else buy the club fully? Qatar, for example, right? Why didn't you let them buy the club? And also, if you knew that we were going to go Qatar, we're going to go bankrupt in December, why wasn't it confirmed? Why wasn't it put forward to the SEC filings, as we said? And why did you spend 150 million in the summer if you knew that we were going to go bankrupt? What's going on here? At the end of the day, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked. And as I said yesterday, and I've been saying this a long time, guys, like the mark of a liar, the liar, you know, the devil's a liar, as they say. He's a guy who, when he talks to you, he doesn't look at you in the eye. He doesn't look at you in the eye. He just looks down. Well, you know, it's very difficult. You know, we're going to go bust by December. You know, I had to do what I had to do. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is a liar. He's a liar. He's a liar. And I can't believe people are falling for this rubbish at the end of the day. And I look forward to the response to these questions. I do. Because at the end of the day, Gary Neville had a conflict of interest in that interview. There was a conflict of interest in that interview, and that interview was not fair. It was not real. It was not balanced to a factual evaluation, a conclusion at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, questions were asked that were kind of nice. They were nice questions, weren't they? They were nice questions. These questions were nice. They weren't difficult questions to ask. They were easy questions to ask for Jim Ratcliffe. Now, look, you know what I mean? Like, if he couldn't afford the football club, why didn't you let Qatar buy the football club? Things like that. Do you know what I mean? These questions should have been asked. These questions should have been asked completely. Why did you facilitate the Glazers when Man United are $500 billion in debt? Why did you give them a platform? You know what I mean? If you couldn't afford the football club, why did you buy Man United which meant that Man United was still be in debt? Why did you do that? These questions are in that 99 question dossier. I think you should go and read it. It's very insightful. If I was Jim Ratcliffe, you know, I would be absolutely like, oh goodness, I would be a little bit concerned, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. Shah, those questions were amazing, but Shinjaga will never answer any of those questions. He's been exposed. Glinios out, absolutely, Shah, spot on. He won't answer those questions, and exactly that, he won't answer those questions, because at the end of the day, he knows, we know him. He's been exposed for the person he is. He's been exposed for all this. He's been exposed. At the end of the day, and you know what? I can't fathom how anyone can come out with chest open saying that I support Ineos and I support Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I cannot understand that anyone could do that unless they don't have Manchester United in their heart. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, so they'll be like, well, at the end of the day, nothing else to say. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was, Shaysha. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we spent loads of money in £1 billion. You know, at the end of the day, I've got nothing else to say about that. You know, we have to make cutbacks, and, you know, it's a harsh reality of the system we are in. Guys, I think this guy has been planted. I don't think this guy earned anything in his life. How comes I'm only hearing about Jim Ratcliffe this last few years, guys, and I'm from England? You know what I mean? Has this guy been planted into a situation? Do you know what I mean? Has he been planted into Man United to make these, to just act as a puppet, a pawn, or something like that? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I just feel like that, because he got to be the most dumbest billionaire I've ever seen in my life. He's so readable, and you know what? A lot of us said this before. You know what I mean? Before he came at Man United, a lot of us were saying that. A lot of us, when the takeover process was going on, we were talking about it, weren't we? About this nonsense ownership of Jim Ratcliffe and stuff like that. It's disgusting, guys. It really is. And you know what? I'm gonna go through all those questions for you. Obviously, there was 99 questions there. Let me scroll down some of these questions, of course. Why did you say, I'm not sure Sheikh Jassim even exists? Why did you say that when he quite obviously exists? Why did you say that? That's question number 14, guys. Question number 14. Why did you say, I'm not sure Sheikh Jassim even exists? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you liar. You liar, you manipulator, you are, and you paid off the various outlets out there so people believe it. The journalists, you know what I mean, the outlets, you know what I mean, of this world who are just post it because you paid them to post it, and then people are just going to be believing it like willy-nilly at the end of the day. And again, if you had doubts he exists, why did you commit to paying 33 million per share for your investment in United when the publicly listed price was below $20? And his non-existence would mean there was no other competition to your offer. Guys, listen to this. Why? Guys, I got to post this. That is exactly what it is. That's exactly it. So basically, why did you say, I'm not sure Sheikh does it ever exist? If you had doubts about he exists, why did you commit to paying $33 sorry, per share for your investment in United when the publicly listed price was below $20 and his non-existence would mean there was no other competition to that offer? Guys, that deserves a definite explosion, doesn't it? At the end of the day, that deserves a definite explosion. You know, at the end of the day, God blimey, that is just goodness me. Maybe I'm writing this, guys. I'm writing this. Interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. At the end of the day, I'll give you a link to this question, mate. Very, very interesting. That is a very, very good question. That's one of the best questions I've seen all year. At the end of the day, it's one of the best questions I've seen all year, to be honest with you. Absolutely brilliant. And when I scroll down, I'm seeing some right gems in there. I'm seeing some really I'm seeing some great questions in there. And you know what? He's not going to answer it. Of course, he's not going to answer it because he's not got no answer for it. At the end of the day, he's not going to answer it. At the end of the day, I don't think he will. I think he's got no answer for it, and I don't think he will answer it. And I think at the end of the day, that is Jim Ratcliffe. He's a liar. He's a manipulator, and people fell for that. At the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up, Charlam. Big up. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. So read through them and bring through some of your questions as well in regards to that as well, because there is a lot of questions there. 99 questions. Obviously, famous number for Man United is 1999, of course, guys. So I want you guys to look at that, guys. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of questions. I would urge people to look at those questions and you know what, evaluate it, because there might be some answers to some, there might not be some answers to some. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, so we'll have to wait and see if he answers. Let me just write this. Okay, so that is basically that in regards to that. And you know what? I think we all know what's going on here. I think we all know that what has been happening over this last few months, few weeks, has been lies. You have been manipulated. It has been spin. It has been. And you know, it will take a very silly person to just blindly support Jim Ratcliffe. Look, I said it from the beginning when they took their 27% I said it from the beginning that, you know what, I'm going to take it with cautious optimism. I always do, and I'm going to praise them when they deserve to be praised, and I'm going to call them out when it's time to call them out. At the end of the day, you know. Of course, some of these questions he's going to twist them. He's going to use ChatGTP, whatever, trying to twist these questions to work in his favor, to make him look intelligent, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and you know what? I just think some of those questions are very telling. I mean, especially that one I've just read. I've tweeted that one out at the end of the day, and you know, it is a very, very interesting question. You know, and you know, and we need to see, you know, we need to see what happens, of course. Of course, you know what billionaires do, though. What billionaires do, they manipulate things, and they will talk their way out of it, you know. But I said, like, as a guy who reads body language, I'm very good at reading people. I know that when you look down and you speak and you don't look up once to speak, to look at someone in the eye, right? That for me is a liar. For me, that for me is a liar. To be honest with you, at the end of the day. I recall the Manchester United share price was only $13. Yep, prior to the Glazers putting the club up for sale. Both bids were way more than the club was worth. Yeah, but if the shares are only $20 per share, why was he paying $33 per share when there was no competition, Almac? You know, at the end of the day, you know, I don't understand that, to be honest with you. But let's wait and see what the answer is for that one. Let's see what the answer is for that. I'm not proclaiming to be like, you know what I mean, the king of shares and stuff like that. But it's a very interesting question. It is a very enlightening question, of course, guys. Very much so. You know, was it Sheikh Jassim who raised the price? Was it Sheikh Jassim who raised the price? Was it him who raised the price? Do you know what I mean? Was it him? You know, or was it the Glazers, you know, raising the price for the shares? What was it? What was going on there? Do you know what I mean? That is a decent question, to be honest with you, you know, at the end of the day. And I want to see the answers for these questions. I do. I want to see the answers because there might be an answer. But, you know, I want to know those answers at the end of the day because you know what? We need to. You know, as a Man United fan base, we need to know, don't we, at the end of the day? Goals for George, what's going on? I don't know why I have never been taken by Jonathan David. He's a good numbers and is consistent, but I don't know why he doesn't excite me. And also, no clubs go for him. Osimhen is ruthless. I agree, Goals for George. I mean, it is subjective at the end of the day, Goals for George. Big up Goals for George, by the way. It is subjective. It depends on what you like and stuff like that. That is a very good question in regards to Jonathan David not being wanted by various football clubs because it's a fact. There's not many clubs who are in for Jonathan David. What is the reason behind that, guys? He is a free transfer, of course, in the summer. So why are teams not going for Jonathan David? Is there something wrong with Jonathan David that we're not looking at? You know, because he is prolific, kind of, in France. But for me, I just feel like personality-wise, strength-wise, proven in a major league like the Italian league, Serie A, and winning Serie A with Napoli, I think that, you know, he would be a better option for Man United. But it is subjective. Of course, this is a democracy. And I agree. Look, at the end of the day, if Man United signed Jonathan David, I mean, I wouldn't say be absolutely devastated. But like you said, Goal for George, the jury is out in regards to Jonathan David because you know what is going on there? Why don't teams want him? Is there a problem with Jonathan David? And that is something that I would bring into the show, absolutely, and bring into my thought process in regards to that, guys, absolutely. And I mean, look, you know, there are strikers out there. You know, there's many strikers out there. There's great strikers out there. There's great strikers in South America as well that we could possibly go for as well. Matt. The difference between Jonathan David and honestly 60 million, if we get David, we can spend the 60 million elsewhere. It's a financial decision. That's true, Almac. But if you look at Jonathan David doing it in France, wouldn't Rasmus Højlund score goals in France? You know, at the end of the day, that's what I would say. Wouldn't Rasmus Højlund score goals in France? You know, and why don't other teams want him? You know, and I would say that, and these questions have to be asked and they have to be taken into account. I totally agree. 60 million, you know what I mean? It's a lot of money. But why can't Man United strike a deal between Antony, Rashford, and Osimhen? Why can't we do a deal with that like that? You know what I mean? And cut down the price significantly at the end of the day. We could do that. You know, I think Osimhen is significantly better than David. I do. But if it's a free transfer, if we just get David, then we just have to live with it and we see what he does in the Premier League. We have to wait and see. Personally, I feel like Osimhen is more built for the Premier League. He's more built. He's more physically astute. I don't want David coming in and becoming like Pepe. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? At the end of the day of who signed for Arsenal, I want someone who's going to be there now scoring goals. I mean, at the end of the day, and you know what, who's a proven goal scorer in Major League. Watch the 2 goals I was scored against Rwanda for Nigeria. Those were world-class and few strikers could score those goals. He is a world-class striker. I believe that at the end of the day. That is an absolute fact. He is a world-class striker. But you know what? It is subjective. Life is subjective. And we have to wait and see what happens in the future in regards to these players. At the end of the day, Man United need a striker. And it depends what happens in the summer. At the moment, I've not got a good feeling. I've not got a good feeling about Ineos. I've not got a good feeling about Jim Ratcliffe. I've not got a good feeling about any of those guys. For us to go into the summer and make the right choices, who knows what's going to happen at the end of the day. Of course, we got Chido Obi Martin, who, you know what, could become a great striker. He's still very young, but he could become great as well. So we have to think about those players as well. You know what I mean? But, you know, for me, if we got Gutierrez, it'd be brilliant. But I believe that Gutierrez wants to play in the Champions League, and I don't think Man United will get Gutierrez if we're not in the Champions League. Sometimes, you know what, we have to pay for things. We have to pay for things, and unfortunately, even if it is expensive, you have to get what's best for the football club, don't you? At the end of the day, I agree with Goals of George, and I agree with Al Mac to an extent. You know what I mean? I agree with both of you. You know, we got no money. So at the end of the day, look, you know, 60 million is money, isn't it? At the end of the day, and could go in other parts of the team, of course, guys, absolutely. But Man United do need a prolific scorer. Goals win games, and we've been minus goal difference for a very long time now, even in Eric Ten Hag's days. And we do need someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and make things happen for themselves as well, because sometimes you might not get the supply, you know, and you know, you make things happen. As far as I'm aware, me as close to Napoli and things like that, I know about Victor Osimhen and things. I know that Victor Osimhen can make something happen out of nothing, can score a fantastic worldie. I know that, you know, but we'd have to wait and see what happens in the summer. My hands are up, my hands are tied. Let's not forget Jonathan David. You know what I mean? You know, he's been on Man United's radar for a very long time, even before the release clause and stuff like that. Man United were interested in Jonathan David as well, you know, many years ago, if we recall, you know, and he's a good player, but you know, it represents a risk. But everyone represents a risk at the end of the day. Getting David might be the difference between being afford players like Edison and Frimpong and not affording. That's the trade-off. I mean, look, you know what? I wouldn't fall into that Ineos trap. I wouldn't fall into that, right? 30 million for finishing 13th in the Premier League, right? Anthony and Rashford will get up to 80 million, both of them, right? Ericsson and Lindelof are leaving the football club. Luke Shaw might leave the football club. Malacia is going to leave the football club as well. You know, Maguire or Onana might leave the football club. We have some money there to spend. You know, Man United will spend money, but we're not going to get Frimpong, Mac. Definitely not. You know, even if we had the money. And I think Frimpong is a fantastic player, but I think Man United are looking at cheaper options than Frimpong. I like Frimpong, I really do, and I think he'd be perfect for Man United. I think he's got a 40 million release clause, isn't it? A 40 million release clause. It'd be fantastic if we signed him. Of course, that'd be brilliant. I think that'd be brilliant. You know, if we got David and got Frimpong, right, I would say to you, great, brilliant piece of business. You know, that is it. But I don't deal with absolutes, and I don't really trust Ineos in regards to finances. I've lost all trust in regards to what they're saying now, especially in light of these 99 questions. And you know what, you start asking questions about these guys, don't you, at the end of the day, guys? Absolutely. But let's wait and see what happens in the summer, guys. What will be. Absolutely. Let's hope we win the Europa League. It'd be a lot more easier for Man United to attract the Frimpongs of this world if we win the Europa League, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we got to win the Europa League. And it's going to be difficult. Lyon are not a crap team. You know, we probably play Athletic Bilbao in the semi. They're not crap. They're good. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have to obviously, you know what I mean, wait and see. Let's qualify for the Champions League. Then we can put our eggs in a basket and say, you know what? Yeah, we can do that. You know what? We could do that transfer, win the Champions League. That is what the most important thing is, of course, guys. Man United qualify for the Champions League. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. It's a little bit of a shorter show today, but I have to go out, unfortunately. I've got a meeting today. And guys, I will be back later on for the live watch-along between England and Latvia. Please don't forget to join me for that game. Should be fun. I know the last game wasn't a great watch. It was very boring. But you know what? I think England will score some goals in this game. I really do believe that at the end of the day. Michael, we can sell Dalot and get Frimpong. The key question, Mikel, big up Mikel. The key question is that does Ruben Amorim want to sell Dalot? Is Ruben Amorim going to sell Dalot? That's the key question. As far as I'm aware, Ruben Amorim is a big fan of Dalot. God knows why. He's Portuguese, obviously. That's what it is. And we'll have to wait and see in regards to that. I would sell Dalot myself. I would. Sorry, guys. Sorry, those Dalot FC guys. I would sell him if I had the chance to sell Dalot. I would sell him because you know what, he would represent 25 million plus, wouldn't he? At the end of the day, you know, I would do that deal definitely. But we're gonna have to wait and see. We'll wait in the summer. Let's hope that Man United win the Europa League. Of course, it's going to be difficult, but he who dares wins. And you know what? You're going to have to face these teams at the end of the day. Because what I like to bring in, is if Man United got Lyon, for example, in the quarterfinal of the Champions League, we'll be extremely happy because, oh, what a draw. Yeah, we could beat Lyon, you know? If we got Athletic Bilbao in the semi-final of a Champions League, we'll be like, yes, what a draw. We can beat Athletic Bilbao, won't we? So we need to think about our levels up there, like at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Athletic Bilbao and Lyon are not as good as Arsenal and Man City and Liverpool, who we've gone toe-to-toe with. You know what I mean? Over the last few weeks, months. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So there you go. But it is what it is, and let's see what happens in the future. Guys, thank you for joining me. Guys who stayed, thank you so much. You're absolute legends. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. Thank you so much, guys. And I'll see you later for the watch-along between Man United, goodness me, England and Latvia, guys. Enjoy your day, afternoon, evening, wherever you're in the world. Really appreciate you guys. I'm almost on 10,000 subscribers, guys. I'm on 9,100 and something. Please spread the word. Let's get us to 10,000 subscribers, guys. Have a fabulous day. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn, and I'll see you later for the watch along. Take it easy, guys. Peace.